The NFL Combine is set to begin March 3rd through March 6th. This is the moment where prospects across the nation get to put on a show and prove NFL scouts either right or either wrong. Hello everyone, welcome to a brand new episode of Time2Football. My name is Hassan Khan, the host of this podcast that we like to call Time2Football. Glad you guys are able to join us on this wonderful, beautiful, marvelous, amazing Wednesday afternoon, morning, depending on which coast you guys live on. Again, just like last week, we came out with this podcast on Wednesday at 12 p.m. We're still experimenting with the time, but I thought I'd stay consistent, at least for you guys that tuned in last week, so you guys can tune in this week as well. But yes, during the off season, we are transitioning into a weekly format as far as this live show goes. So you can catch us over on iTunes if you want to listen to us on the go. Just pull up the podcast app on your phone and search for Time to Football and listen to us on the go on your way to work, your workout during the gym, whatever it may be. Or if you want to go ahead and tune in on air while we are live streaming this on YouTube, you can go ahead and join us in the live chat and comment down below. We're going to be interacting with you guys as well. As far as the live chat goes, we've got Melee tuning in saying, hello, Melee, I appreciate you tuning in every single week. But yeah, go ahead and leave your comments down below. And actually, as a matter of fact, we have this cool feature right here where you have the opportunity to join in and call in live during the show and leave your thoughts and your opinions and comments down below. Actually, on air, we're going to be answering your questions. If it's like, hey, I think that, or who do you think the Steelers are going to draft in the first round? Or who do you think is going to have the fastest 40 time? Or maybe it's just an opinion, like I think this should happen, that should happen, Aaron Rodgers should be traded here, whatever it may be. You can join us live on air by going to our Discord server. Click that link in the description of our YouTube channel. Head on over to Discord and join in on that waiting room channel. And I'm going to be pulling you guys in the next 20, 25 minutes, actually throughout the duration of the show. If someone joins in on air, I'll go ahead and bring you guys on so you guys can comment and hear your beautiful voices on air. But yes, today's episode will be filled with NFL Combine talk, because the NFL Combine is what is coming up. And this is the moment where players get to put on a show, like I mentioned, and they get to prove these scouts either right or either wrong. Most of these players, top prospects going into the NFL draft, are Evan Neal, Aiden Hutchinson, Kayvon Thibodeau, Derek Stingley, Jameson Williams of Alabama as well. There's a lot of good players out there and a lot of good offensive tackles as well that we're going to be talking about throughout the duration of the show. But with it being the NFL Combine, what happens is prior to the Combine taking place, a lot of the executives, a lot of these head coaches, a lot of the coaching staffs of these teams are present during the Combine in Indianapolis. They have a press conference for a lot of these coaches. They answer questions asked by the media, and a lot of news is given out throughout the duration of the Combine. And that's actually one of the things that we wanted to talk about is the NFL news and notes going around the league that is coming out of the NFL Combine. So if you guys are watching on YouTube, you can see a topic bar on what we have planned for this show. So we've got NFL news and notes that we're going to be talking about right now. Then we've got the players that have the most approved during the NFL Combine. Who needs to have the best Combine performance to increase their draft stock? And then we're going to get to a segment. We started talking about it last week, but the videos just gave out. Weren't able to get to it. We're going to be talking about Extra, the beef that we had with Extra, because a lot has progressed in that rivalry this past week on social media, which we're going to get you guys caught up on. And then we're going to be answering some questions in the live chat. Actually, speaking of the live chat, Reflect saying, what's up, man? What's up, Reflect? Glad you're able to join us. Randy as well. The NFL Combine is tomorrow, right? Yes, it is. I think it's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if I'm not mistaken. March 3rd on NFL Network. Stay tuned with that. I don't know if ESPN is going to be streaming it, but I know for sure NFL Network is. But speaking of the news that's coming out of the NFL Combine, excuse me. All right, so we kind of recapped the news from the last week. Since this is a weekly format of the show, we kind of just gather all the information since we last tuned in last week on the last Wednesday of February. Kyler Murray wants to stay in Arizona as long as the team prioritizes a long-term extension. Okay, so we know about the drama. and the storylines surrounding Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals. What is going to happen with his future? Is he going to be playing with a different team? Is he dissatisfied with the team? I mean, you delete all your posts on Instagram except for 2. It kind of tells you, hey, you're kind of upset. The Cardinals kind of trolled him back, deleting every single post except for 2. Obviously, you have 30 days to recover all your posts, which the Cardinals ended up doing. But for Kyler Murray, what is going on? What is the tension with the Arizona Cardinals? Apparently, he's not happy. He feels like, a lot of the struggles that's been happening with the team is not on him. A lot of more players need to perform better. Some players are saying that he's a finger pointer. And Kyler Murray has come out and said, no, this is all false information. Don't believe any of this. But anyways, what has transpired since then is the agent of Kyler Murray has come out and has not strayed away from this drama. Listen, a lot of people like to keep all these rumors and everything under wrap and underneath the radar. Whereas Kyler Murray's agent's like, here it is, world. Here's the issue. This is what's going on. You got to respect the transparency as far as the media goes. They love it. But for Kyler Murray, is this really a smart thing to do? Well, the agent comes out and says, listen, the drama that has been going on with Kyler Murray and everything is revolving around a contract extension. We want to play in Arizona if we can prioritize a contract extension. Cliff Kingsbury, all these guys that come out in the combine and said, he's our long-term plan. He's our long-term solution. We want to get a contract extension done. Will it happen? That is the news with Kyler Murray and the contract extension as far as the drama goes with the Arizona Cardinals. It's all because of the contract. All because of the contracts. He's going to be performing in his final year, given that they don't pick up the 5th-year option, which they will. So he's got another 2 years, and then he wants a long-term contract extension. Joe Schoen, the Bills general manager, turned into the Giants general manager. I should say Bills assistant general manager, if I'm not mistaken. Turned into the official Giants general manager, has come out and said Saquon Barkley is open for trade. Okay, I'm not going to give out false information. Saquon Barkley, it's not out of the question that he could be traded. So let me back that up. Let me clear it up. They're not seeking for a trade for Saquon Barkley, but he has come out and said every player's on the table. We're going to listen to everyone. That includes Saquon Barkley. So he is going into the final year of his contract. They haven't picked up their 5th-year option just yet. So it's interesting to note if Saquon Barkley is going to be a Giant for a long time or if he's going to get traded to another team. Many people believe that with the number 2 overall pick, they shouldn't have picked Saquon Barkley. They should have picked a quarterback. Well, the best quarterback on the board at that point was Sam Darnold, and it's like, I guess it worked out that you picked out Saquon Barkley because it wasn't the way that Sam Darnold is playing right now wouldn't have worked out with him. But it's looking like that Saquon Barkley could be open for discussion in trade talks for the entire duration of the offseason. So let's see what happens with Saquon Barkley. George Paton, the general manager of the Denver Broncos at the NFL Combine, has stated that he has had positive talks with Melvin Gordon, and they are hopeful that they can re-sign him for 2022. Well, stop right there. Hey guys, if you're tuning in and your immediate thought goes to, screw that, Javonte Williams, I have something to say to you. No one cares about fantasy football. No one cares. Hey, they just want to win games. That's all it is. You need 2 good backs. Javonte Williams, I 100% believe if he's a 3-down back, he's going to be a top 5 fantasy running back next year. But it's not about me, and it's not about fantasy football. The Broncos believe that Melvin Gordon is the best option. Not at running back, maybe it's Javonte Williams, but the best option out there to complement Javonte Williams. And they want to get a long-term extension done. I've just been seeing a lot of comments saying, like, no, don't make this happen. Why? Why shouldn't the Broncos do this? Because they have Javonte Williams, and he's going to go off next year. Okay, he can go off with Melvin Gordon still there. Doesn't make a difference. You get less carries, less touches, but he can still go off. Whatever helps the Broncos win games. That's what they're going to do. Everybody's in that fantasy football mindset. Get out of that. Get into real life football. The Bucs are bringing back their creamsicle uniforms in 2023. Okay, so the orange and white. They have confirmed that they're going to be bringing it back, but because of global supply chains problems, issues, they can't bring them in 2022. Global supply chains. You mean, sweatshops? Huh? Yeah, there's an issue with the materials coming from global supply chains. Sweatshops? Huh? Yeah, our sweatshops, global supply chains are just not producing enough material with the inflation rate right now. What was that? Did you say sweatshop? No, I didn't say anything about sweatshop. Oh, okay. So yeah, that's what's going on right now with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Danny is joining us right now in the live chat saying Kyler Murray, Detroit Lion. Ooh, does Kyler Murray want that to happen? And I say, does Kyler Murray want that to happen? I know a trade is really between two teams, and the players don't really have that much of a say. But with Kyler Murray, he's probably going to be like, I'm not playing. I'm not playing if I go to the Detroit Lions. Not playing. Like Rob Gronkowski, he retired when he was traded to the Detroit Lions. The Colts, the Indianapolis Colts. Okay, so the NFL owners during the NFL Combine are going to meet up and discuss about potential rule changes that could be happening for the 2022 season. Well, the Indianapolis Colts have come out and said the overtime rules need to be changed. There it is. A team where the overtime rules didn't really affect them last year. It's not the Buffalo Bills. Another team has come out and said that overtime rules need to be changed. It's actually funny. I came out with a video on social media, and I've talked about this on this podcast. Excuse me if you guys are listening on podcast app, and I bumped the table. I came out with a video saying that the Bills, it's okay. This was after the Bills lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs. I said, it's been time to change the overtime rules. Just give both teams a possession, one possession at least. That's it. That's all you need to change. And I've gotten so much crap about that. Actually, as a matter of fact, one guy named Eric, Evan, I don't know, but he was very vocal on social media, so I invited him onto the show. I said, hey, if you can prove why the current overtime rules are fair, we'll pay you money. We have a money incentive. We agreed to a payment. And if he comes onto the show and he explains why current overtime rules are fair, then he would get money based off that. Still hasn't come on. We've been talking. We've been DMing each other. Still hasn't come on. And the reason being is because there's no way to really articulate that the current rules are fair. They're not fair. Now you could say, no, they don't need to change. No, this percentage of teams that win the coin toss do that, and it really doesn't work. Okay, you're giving a reason on why it shouldn't change, but I'm saying to you, is it fair? And it's not. I think 100% of NFL fans can agree that current overtime rules are not fair. You could say that it shouldn't change, but you can't say that it's fair. You get it? It's not fair. So the Colts have come out and said, we need to change these rules. Give each team one possession. That's all you need to change. Hey, kickoff. Offense versus defense. Okay, they score. Score a touchdown. Score a field goal. Whatever it may be. The other offense gets a shot. What's wrong with that? Nothing wrong with that. Well, the Buffalo Bills have come out and said, yes, overtime rules need to change, but their proposal is a little bit different than the Indianapolis Colts. They stated that there needs to be a time limit, just like basketball, whether it be 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it may be. And this is only for the postseason that they're wanting this to happen. You have a time limit, and you just score as many points as you can in that time limit. That's the Bills' proposal, which, I personally like each team getting possession. But what they're proposing is at least a little bit more fair than what we have right now. So that's just my opinion on it. Ali Marpet retired from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He played for 7 years for the Bucs. So you got Tom Brady retiring, you got Marpet retiring. Gronkowski more than likely will be retiring. And they're losing a lot of players in free agency. I mean, Chris Godwin, you got to deal with him, franchise tagged. Leonard Fournette's going to be a free agent as well. Ndamukong Suh, they're probably going to move on from him. There's a lot of players that they got to get everything in order first before they go back to being a playoff team. But Ali Marpet, latest Buccaneer to retire. Congrats on a great 7-year career. Mitch Trubisky is on the radar to start for many NFL teams. Let me put this in perspective real quick. Mitch Trubisky during the NFL Combine is being discussed by more NFL teams than some of the 2022 quarterback class. That says a lot about how teams value Mitch Trubisky and how he could be a starter in 2022. Which teams are interested? I mean, any quarterback-needy team is interested right now, but the Pittsburgh Steelers are one of those teams that are on top of the list that could pursue the 27-year-old quarterback who had a good season his sophomore year in Chicago, and then since then hasn't really been going back to his 27 touchdown season that he had his second year. But Trubisky is someone that many NFL teams are interested in and could be pursuing as their quarterback, whether it be a bridge quarterback, whether it be a long-term solution. They want to give Trubisky another shot in the NFL. I mean, what are your thoughts on this? Love to hear your thoughts on that. Stephen Jones, the son of Jerry Jones, said at the NFL Combine that he is non-committal on Amari Cooper. He didn't say the word non-committal, but you got the vibe that he's non-committal. Cooper is set to earn $20 million if he's still on the roster by March 20th. They need to make a decision soon. Are they going to pay Cooper, which is A-okay, like that's perfectly fine, great player, still fantastic. Are you okay with letting him go, given that you have CeeDee Lamb, given that you have Michael Gallup, given that maybe you could use that money, that $20 million, to maybe re-sign Dalton Schultz as well? A lot of options right there. So he is non-committal on Amari Cooper as far as the money and the contract goes right there. But Ezekiel Elliott, he is committed with Ezekiel Elliott, even though he has a contract that eats into the salary cap as well. So we came out with a video yesterday, actually as a matter of fact, talking about the top 10 backup running backs that could be potential starters one day. And Tony Pollard was on that list. And we talked about how Ezekiel Elliott is committed, or the Cowboys are committed to Ezekiel Elliott because of the contract that he has. He's a long-term solution for the Cowboys. So that means that Tony Pollard is going to be moving on because this is his final year in 2022 on his contract. He's going to be moving on to another team. It's going to be starting for another team. Some people thought like, okay, maybe this is going to be like the turning of the page. Ezekiel Elliott, you could release him or not re-sign him, or trade him, whatever it may be. And then Tony Pollard could be a cheaper option at the running back position. But it seems like they're committed to Ezekiel Elliott. Tony Pollard, more than likely in 2023, will be playing with another team. And that is your NFL news and notes for today. All right, so now the segment that we're going to be talking about is the NFL Combine, and we're going to be previewing that here in just a bit. And the way we're going to be previewing it is talking about the players that need to prove the most in the NFL Combine. So certain players go onto the Combine and they just put on a show. They could be a projected second rounder, third rounder. And if they do well at the NFL Combine, they increase their stock to being a top 12 pick. This has actually happened in the past with Dontari Poe. Defensive tackle was a potential second rounder, third rounder when he was drafted. But because of his NFL Combine performance, which was one of the best in NFL history, he catapulted and shot his way up inside of the top 11, drafted number 11 by the Kansas City Chiefs overall. So there are some players out there that need to have a Dontari Poe-like combine to increase their draft stock. And obviously, when I talk about the most to prove, obviously those late rounders, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th rounders, of course, obviously, without question. I'm talking about the first rounders, the second rounders. Like, how can they improve their draft stock? Well, it's because if you go to the NFL Combine, you do well at the Combine, you increase your draft stock. So I'm going to talk about certain players that need to do well at the NFL Combine to increase their draft stock and solidify themselves as a first-round draft pick. The first player I'm going to be talking about, or I should say players, all quarterbacks. I know it's a cop-out because there's not one particular quarterback that I can lean in and say, listen, this guy needs to prove himself way more than the other quarterback. It's all quarterbacks. We heard about it. When we talked about Mitch Trubisky just earlier in the show, how NFL teams at the Combine, what reporters are hearing is that Mitch Trubisky, a veteran quarterback who's set to be a free agent, 27 years old, is talked about amongst the teams way more than the quarterbacks in the 2022 draft class. I mean, this is one of the weaker quarterback draft classes, according to many, in a long time. So if you want to talk about who has the most to prove, it's all of the quarterbacks. This is Kenny Pickett. This is Malik Willis. This is Desmond Ridder, Sam Howell, all those guys. The most to prove. Matt Corral, all of them. Most to prove in the 2022 Combine. You got to solidify yourself as a first-round pick. And now, given the nature of the quarterback position, listen, it's no doubt. We sit up here. We don't know anything about the NFL Combine. We're not an NFL draft scout. Okay, but those guys like Daniel Jeremiah, Bucky Brooks, Todd McShay, Mel Kiper, those draft experts are out there and saying this is one of the worst, the weaker quarterback classes in recent years. With them saying that, even though the nature of the position puts these quarterbacks as a first rounder, they're saying they're not worthy of being a first round pick. The nature of the position is going to make them a first rounder. It's bound to happen. People are going to draft up. They're going to overdraft for the quarterback of their future just because, like, by the time you get around to the second round, one of the quarterbacks that they wanted could be gone. Whatever their strategy is, they're going to overdraft. It's going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if Kenny Pickett is a top 10 pick. I wouldn't. But the quarterback class has the most to prove at the NFL Combine. So that is position number one. Player number two, that is the most to prove at the NFL Combine, Kayvon Thibodeau, defensive end from Oregon. What a beast of a man this guy is. Incredible talent, athletic ability, raw, pure talent at defensive end. The thing with him is I've seen many mock drafts, and again, I'm not an NFL scout. I don't watch a lot of college football, so I am just basing my information off of what the college football experts are saying. And what the draft experts are saying is that Thibodeau could be as early as a top 3 pick, but he could drop as low as a mid-first round pick. And maybe it's because he just doesn't get it together at the defensive end position, even though he's physically gifted. But, I mean, because of that, because of the wide range on how teams view him, I'd say that he is up there as one of the players that has the most to prove at the 2022 Scouting Combine. We talk about raw talent and not really fitting into the defensive end position or having a grasp on it too well at this point, at least playing at the elite level of the NFL. Well, let me give you another example of a player that had the raw talent, but was kind of iffy at first. That player was Josh Allen, who Mel Kiper, which was a good call, by the way, stated that no, that was Jimmy Clausen. I was going to say if Jimmy Clausen doesn't end up being one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, then he's going to retire. Didn't work out for him. But he did say Josh Allen is going to be the best quarterback in that 2018 draft class. He was right. Lamar Jackson is up there as well. Like, yeah, you could debate that. But so far, he knocked that prediction out of the park. Raw talent, but teams were iffy on him. Kayvon Thibodeau, raw talent, but teams are iffy on him. I had my Atlanta Falcons. I saw Daniel Jeremiah, maybe it was, or Bucky Brooks, one of them, come out with a mock draft, and they had my Atlanta Falcons, my favorite team, taking Kayvon Thibodeau just inside of the top 10. And I'm like, if he drops that far, I would be ecstatic if the Falcons took him. I would love that because I love this player. I think he's going to be great. So, yeah, I mean, the NFL Combine is the place where you put on a show. You showcase your physical, raw ability, and Kayvon Thibodeau, without a doubt, is going to impress a lot of teams. And I think after the scouting combine, this is just a prediction, I don't think he falls outside of the top 5. The next player. How about Derek Stingley Jr., cornerback, LSU? And the reason I say that he has the most approved at the scouting combine is because he had a great freshman season. Fantastic. And it was regarded as one of the better cornerbacks in college football. And people were like, man, if only he was going in the NFL draft after his freshman year, like he'd be one of the better defensive backs in the NFL. Like he was so good. Talked amongst the NFL community for a long time that when he goes into the NFL, he's going to be great. Well, then after his freshman season, he wasn't bad, but like it didn't go back to being the Derek Stingley Jr. that we saw his freshman year. And now he enters the NFL Combine, NFL Draft, and teams are like, okay, well, here's a player that could have been a top 3, top 5 pick, and now people are saying, I'd be surprised if he gets inside of the top 10. Maybe he's like a late top 10 pick, maybe like a 9 or a 10, but I don't see him as a top 5 pick anymore. So Derek Stingley needs to go out there, have a great Combine performance in front of these teams, and prove that he's still talented as he once was to his freshman year at LSU. So Stingley is one of those players that has the most approved. And then the last player that has the most approved. Again, don't think I'm an idiot because I know that he tore his ACL. Hear me out. Jameson Williams, Alabama. And it's not because of the physical attributes that he has that he's going to showcase at the scouting combine. Obviously not. He's torn ACL. Like, what can he do? It's because of the mental aspects and the interviews that the NFL Combine conducts, that teams conduct with these players. The New England Patriots are a confirmed team that already have an interview scheduled with Jameson Williams at the NFL Combine. And there's going to be many more teams out there. Williams, with his ACL tear, is regarded as maybe a top 20, top 25, top 30 pick. I think if he's perfectly healthy, he might be like a top 15, top 10 pick. But because of his injury, outside of the top 20. That's perfectly fine. He's going to get drafted in the first round. He's going to miss the first few weeks of the season. But the NFL Combine is so important as far as the interview process goes. There's players that don't get drafted because of how poorly they do in the interview process. To give you guys an example, we actually came out with a video. We had the opportunity to interview and follow the Combine preparation of when Hakeem Adeniji, who's the starting offensive guard, I want to say, for the Cincinnati Bengals, played in the Super Bowl, started in the Super Bowl. When he was being drafted, his agents conducted a whole NFL Combine mock simulation, like mock interviews, how you should interview. If you guys want to go back and watch that video, I'll go ahead and put it up top. I'm going to split this video later on from this live stream and then put it on the channel. So I'll go ahead and put it up top. Click on that if you want to watch it. But just a couple years ago was when he went through that Combine prep, and just through sitting through that, experiencing it myself on how a Combine interview goes, how it goes and how it's processed and how it works. It's very intense. Very intense. So for Jameson Williams, this is the time for him to prove during these Combine interviews, listen, I know that I have an ACL injury. I'm going to be out for the first few weeks of the season. That's okay. Look at me as a person. Look at me as a leader. Look at me as a character. I'm a good locker room leader guy. I'll be a good asset to this team, even off the field. So Jameson Williams has a lot to prove in the NFL scouting combine. But those are players that I say that has a lot to prove in the NFL scouting combine. If you guys think differently, please leave your comments and your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Love to interact with you guys. All right. Now, what we're going to be talking about is, okay, I wanted to talk about it this week, or last week. I wanted to talk about it last week, but because my computer was just messing up, I didn't have the chance to talk about it. Tried to show you guys the video. Didn't work out, whatever. So what I did is I just went ahead and after the live stream last week, just re-recorded myself talking about my experience with Extra. You know, the gossipy celebrity news show, Extra. Let me go ahead and set this up. Okay. There was an instance last year at Super Bowl 54 Media Day, or actually a couple years ago. This was down in Miami in 2020 when the Chiefs and the 49ers faced. Anyways, I created a TikTok. I put it on Instagram, put it all over social media, on Twitter as well. And it got a lot of attention. And I want to go ahead and show you guys what I posted for you guys that didn't have that chance to see us on social media post this story. So let me go ahead and set the story up by showing you this video, and then I'm going to get back to you guys. Check this out. This is why I have beef with Extra, you know, the celebrity gossipy news show. Super Bowl 54 Media Day. I'm waiting in line to talk to Tyreek Hill. I'm sitting where Tyreek is sitting, and surrounding him is a barricade, separating him from the media. Well, everybody goes up to the barricade and waits in line to talk to him. Surprisingly, most of the media was actually very nice. They say, hey, you were here first, you ask your question, and then I will wait for you. The key words are for the most part. So we're all having a good time, we're chapping it up, we're laughing, and I'm waiting for this guy to get his question answered so I can ask mine. Tyreek gets done answering, my mouth opens to ask a question, and then, out of nowhere, wasn't waiting in line, was this woman from Extra walking up and interrupting us. Jennifer, not Lawrence, but her name kind of sounds like Lawrence. But she wasn't waiting in line. There was other media members behind us waiting to ask a question to Tyreek Hill, and she swerved past everyone, interrupted everyone, and handed him a helmet filled with questions that was irrelevant to football. Dude, look at my face. Gosh, I love this reaction. I laugh about it now, but back then I was livid. Eventually, we were able to interview Tyreek. We asked him a couple of questions, but this woman had no regard for anybody else's time and had no manners. But it makes sense if you work for a show where you gossip about someone and you ruin people's lives. Hey, Jennifer Lawrence, I haven't forgotten about you. So that's the story on how I have beef with Extra, the news show. They have no idea who I am. No idea. Because I'm just a little guy and they're a big shark. But I remember that. I remember that. And so then, you know, I remember it for a couple years and it didn't really bother me. But it was just a funny story time that I wanted to tell on the podcast last week. And then I went ahead and split this video up and I put it up on social media. I put it up on TikTok. I put it up on Instagram. I put it up on Twitter. Just cuz. And here's the thing with me is I'm always a positive person. I will never like tear anyone down. And I will never like, you know, say anything that I wouldn't say to anyone right in front of their face. So I guess this is, I don't know, kind of ballsy of me, I guess. But when I posted that video, I tagged everyone, dude. I tagged Jennifer Lammers is her name now, not Lawrence, Lammers. I tagged Jennifer Lammers. I tagged Extra TV on TikTok, on Instagram, on all these social media accounts. I tagged everyone. I was like, yeah, check this out. I have nothing to hide. I'm not going to subtweet you. I'll tag you. I'll tag you. Who cares? And so I tagged them in that, and I got a response on Twitter from Jennifer Lammers, that woman that was there that interrupted me. So let me go ahead and show you the response that she gave me to that video that we posted on Twitter. Crazy stuff, man. Okay. Let me see if I can expand this here just a bit. Whoop. All right, here we go. So that run-in with Jen Lammers and Extra TV, I posted that video, right? And then here's the reply. Didn't get to a syndication by waiting in line, my friend. Also, if it's any consolation, my head was used as a tripod that day. What? Dude? Did you hear that first sentence? What she said in response to that video and cutting in line and interrupting us and having no regard for anyone's time is this. Didn't get to a syndication by waiting in line, my friend. Oh, you're one of those people that will tear down anyone to get whatever you want. You're one of those people that doesn't care about anybody else. Gotcha. You're one of those selfish people in your career where you'll tear down anyone to have success. Got it. Thanks for confirming that. Anyways, I responded, and I could have been mean, but it's not my nature to be mean. So this is what I said. I said, different mindsets have no issue slowing my career's growth to show kindness. I'm chasing joy, not success. I respect the hustle, though. So that was my response to her, saying that she is willing to cut in line to get whatever she wants. But that's my mentality, man. I will gladly, like, there have been instances before where, this was Super Bowl 53 media day when I was waiting in line to talk to Chris Hogan when he was with the New England Patriots. I was next, but there was a couple of women right next to me that I could tell they were like younger. Maybe they were just like first starting out in sports journalism. They wanted to ask him a question so bad that I was like, hey, you can go ahead in front of me. No worries about that. But yeah, I'm okay. I don't care. I'm slowing my growth for my career. I don't care how many people watch my stuff. I don't care. I just do this because I have fun doing this. I really do. And if I can show kindness in any way and helping each other out, helping someone else out in my field, like, hey, you go ahead of me, or you were here first, I will wait for you, whatever it may be, I will gladly do that. Gladly. But Jennifer Lammers, it's on. I mean, this is probably the end of this storyline and this rivalry. Like, nothing's going to come from this. But I haven't forgotten about you. And after seeing your response, I'll never forget about you. I don't hold grudges. Okay, so here's my thing, and this is probably wrong of me to do, but I always forgive, and I don't want to seek vengeance or anything like that. Like, I'm not that kind of person that wants revenge. But I never forget, if that makes sense. Like, I will forgive someone, like, I don't want to seek revenge. I don't want to seek vengeance, whatever. But, like, when it's, like, an instance like this, like, I'll never forget, like, when I say forget, if I ever run into this person ever again, I'm like, oh, I remember that one time that you did that. Nah, I'm not interested in working with you. Like, just something like that. Like, that's my mindset on that. So, yeah. But that just sums up the story of how I was at Super Bowl 54 Media Day. This woman cuts in line, has no regard for anybody else's time and manners. Got past a lot of other media members. I know that a lot of other media members were kind of upset as well when she did this. And that's a response that we saw on Twitter. Leave your thoughts down below. Do you think this is just the beginning of a rivalry that's set to blossom into something spectacular? Or do you think that nobody cares? Probably nobody cares. All right. Just a little bit of a recap on that I just want to give. But now what we're going to be doing is talking with the live chats. So let's see what you guys are saying right now. And again, I encourage you guys, if you guys are tuning in right now, call into the show via Discord. click that link in the description and sign up for Discord if you don't have an account right now, and join in on that live channel so we can call you and you can join in during the live show and let us know your thoughts throughout the duration of the podcast. Let's see what you guys are saying in the live chat right now. I know that during the season we have like a bigger audience, more people streaming right now, but right now probably we don't have that many people. But you guys are talking about Kyler Murray. Reflect saying, honestly, I think if Kyler goes to the Commanders, it would be awesome. You know what's funny is I think Aaron Rodgers, this was Diana Rossini that reported this of ESPN. Hey, respectable journalist. I have been in press conferences with her. I've been in many press conferences with her. And now the thing is, like, she works for ESPN, so she'll get, like, the priority over me because I'm a nobody to, like, ask her question. But, like, she's respectable. Like, she doesn't do anything wrong. She always, like, respects players' privacy, and that's what I'm about. By the way, that's another thing about extra TV versus what I do is that TV show likes to gossip and doesn't care about who they tear down in the process. I'm about, hey, I want players to confide in me. I will keep a lot of things off the record, and it's happened before. I've worked with a lot of players where, like, there were some things that they might have said, or there's some things that you hear about them that if it got leaked, maybe they want to get, like, fined or suspended or released or anything like that. But it's like, gives them a bad image. That I just keep to myself because I'm not about tearing down anybody's life. Anyways, Diana Rossini. Diana or Diane? I don't know. Respectable journalist. She came out and said that Aaron Rodgers has a list of teams that he would like to go to, and the Commanders is not one of them. Not one of them. So I don't know if, like, the Commanders is one of those teams that some quarterbacks don't want to play for. I think that Kyler Murray, I don't know how he stands with the Commanders, but I think that a lot of teams have him, or a lot of quarterbacks have the Commanders last on their list for some reason. I don't know why. Russell Wilson, according to multiple sources, he's not out of the question playing for the Commanders. He would be open to it, but I don't think that's, like, his number one choice. With Kyler Murray, I think it's the same. Like, maybe he's open to it, but I don't think it's going to happen. Maybe not. And then Brian tuning in saying Lions are trash, man. LOL. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. All right, that's all there is for this edition of Time2Football. You guys are maxed out on the live chat, it seems like. But I appreciate you guys tuning in to this episode. And again, every Wednesday is when we join on this live show. I'm just experimenting with different things. I don't know whether to come out with 12 p.m. right now. This is the time that I've been coming out every week as of late. But it might be in that window between 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. 10 a.m. is like that regular time during the regular season. But stay tuned. With all that said, thank you guys for tuning in and enjoy the NFL Combine for the next few days. Take care.